Hi, I'm Alex. 9 months ago, I decided to buy a Tesla Model 3, and I've driven it over 10,000 miles through rain, through snow, long cross-country road trips, and day-to-day. And I want to share with you my favorite features and my honest feedback on the whole process of buying and owning this car. First, I want to talk about the design of this car. I think that this car is absolutely slick and sleek. I think that it has a really clean design. The exterior looks really good. That front new headlight design in the new refresh Model 3 is absolutely stunning. The back as well, I like how it's one piece and not two. The blinkers show up really well. I love that it's amber and not red. People can see it, it's safer. I also really liked a lot of the things on the interior. The glass sunroof is stunning. You have a vision all the way from the front of the car to the back of the car. Another thing that I really like is the LEDs that are on the inside of the car. They're a really nice touch that Tesla decided to add. You can change them, customize the colors. You can make it match up with your music or with the beat of the music or with whatever you're listening to. And that's honestly a really fun feature. I love to set it to blue. That's my favorite color. But then I'll have people in the car that want all sorts of colors, red or purple or pink, and you can change it to whatever you want. I really love the seats. I chose to go with the white interior, but the black interior looks good as well. The bucket seats are incredibly comfortable. They are heated and cooled in the front, and in the back seats, they are heated for the winter time. These seats are easy to adjust, never had any problems with it, and they're honestly really comfortable. The trunk is also pretty big. There's a lot of space. So you can see, you can fit several suitcases in here. You can also open up this bottom section, and in this bottom section, you can fit a small suitcase or a duffel bag, and it's quite spacious. I want to talk about this steering wheel design. This is a controversial thing. I personally like it. A lot of people don't. So what's different? Well, first off, you'll notice that there's nothing behind the steering wheel. There's no what they call the stock. There's no stock here for the blinker. There's no stock for the windshield wiper. There's nothing. So how do you do your blinkers? It's these two buttons right here. Right blinker and left blinker. So it's a little bit different. Yeah, I know, but I really like it. So I use my thumb and I just push it. I can switch it. No problems. You also notice that there is a handy dandy camera. That is super convenient, a blind spot camera there. And then you'll also notice that you have your headlights here. I have my auto headlights on that I'll talk about in a minute, but you can turn them on and you have options over here on the screen. And then over here, you can click this button to get your cameras opened up. Right now I have my rear view camera up, but I can have it set to also show my other cameras there, my right and my left side. I can also push that to get it to go away. That right there is for my windshield wiper. If I push and hold, then the fluid will come out. And then if I push this button here, it'll pull up voice commands for me to control the car. The interesting thing is you'll notice that there are these two knobs, right? So this one here is mainly for the entertainment center, so it can go backwards and forwards. And what that does is it'll skip tracks. I don't have anything going right now, but you can skip tracks with it. Scrolling up or down adjusts the volume. And then pushing it in or out like a button will hit play or pause on whatever audio you're listening to. And then on this other side here, this is more for the navigation. So when you're in autopilot, there are different settings that you can use. You can go chill setting. I believe it's chill, normal, and assertive or hurry. I think they renamed it to hurry. And so you can change it. Hurry will go a little bit quicker. It'll pass people a little bit more aggressively. Whereas chill will just kind of stay in your right lane. You know, nobody's business, stay 5 under, no problem. And so to change between those, same thing. You can push it towards the left or towards the right. To activate self-driving, you push it in once, just as a button. And then scrolling up or scrolling down, you'll be able to change the max speed that you want the car to go at. It's also interesting to note that this button here can be programmed. So this over here, this glove box, does not have a handle. So normally you would go through the settings and you could click it and there's a button to open it. But what I prefer is I just push and hold this button here. I set it to do that. And then there you go. The glove box is opened. You can also reprogram this to do a handful of other things as well. If you've never driven a Tesla, you need to try it out. These things are fast. And I mean, I don't even have the upper end fastest model, but it is still ridiculously quick. I can get 0 to 60 in about 4 seconds, meaning that I can easily pass any traffic, merge in and out, get the highway speeds without any problems. And even though it's not the performance model, it's honestly enough for what I'm doing. The first thing that most people ask me when they find out that I drive a Tesla is, does it drive itself? And the answer is yes. So that's called full self-driving. It is a package that you have to pay for. Currently, the price is $8,000 if you buy it up front, or you can do it's $99 plus tax on a month-to-month basis, which you can cancel at any time. It can drive itself. It can completely navigate on its own. I just plug in where I want to go in the GPS here on the maps. It'll take me there. I used it going across the country. I drove all the way from Utah to Tennessee, which is about 1,600 miles one way, and it did it completely by itself. It was incredible. Honestly, it did a really good job. It'll merge, it'll pass, it'll follow the road signs, it'll stop at stoplights. It can even handle construction sites. I've had no issues. Another question that I get is, what about charging? So when you purchase a car, you'll have a couple options. I recommend getting what's called the mobile charger, meaning you can plug it in anywhere. It will come with 2 adapters. One adapter is your regular 110 outlet, which is just your house, your regular home plug. And then the other is for a 220 adapter. So the interesting thing about that is the 110 adapter means you can plug it in anywhere. You just have a regular outlet, the same as you plug in your phone. It will be a significantly slower charge, and so I do not recommend it if you do lots of driving. I used it for about 6 months there, and it was good enough for me because I did not do that much of a commute, but it was a bit of a hassle. So it adds about 4 miles of range, maybe 5 if you're lucky, every hour that you're charging. So that means that if you charge for 10 hours, you can expect 40 to 50 miles of range added. So if you're driving 100 miles a day to and from work or whatever it may be, and you're plugging it in, only getting 50 miles, that's not enough, right? So you'll have to consider the 220 plug, which is the same one as most dryers are if you're in the United States. You'll either have to have an electrician place a plug, have a plug built into your garage or wherever you park, or you can use some kind of a splitter that can split the charge between a dryer and then run some kind of an extension cable. I would just recommend speaking with a qualified electrician to make sure that everything is safe. But once you have that 220 plug plugged in, then you get about 25-ish miles of range added an hour. Public charging is a little bit interesting though, because right now where I live in an apartment, I don't actually have anywhere to plug in. So where I go here to school at the university, there are some plugs that I can use, and those are actually good enough for me. There are some that are what are called AC charging, which is similar to your home charging, which would give me about 25 miles of range an hour. So I go to class, I plug it in, 2-3 hours later, my car is good, right? Because I'm not using it that much. There is another kind of charger called a DC charger, which is a lot faster. And my university happens to have one of those also for free. So overall, I have really enjoyed this car. I love driving it. I love the look of it. It's a great experience all around. And when I have passengers, it's fun. I can make the car make farting noises and different things, and it's a lot of fun. But there have been a few things that have been somewhat frustrating, and I'd just like to touch on those. So first, the purchasing of the car was a little bit tough. It's all online. You know, there's no person there, which is a good thing because there's no salesperson, there's no haggling and all these different things, and that was honestly pretty nice not having to deal with that. But because it was all online, sometimes things are a little bit confusing and you have to really read everything. You're not sure, what am I agreeing to? You know, what is all this stuff? Is this actual contract? So I was supposed to get a lower finance rate, but because I wasn't able to pick up a car on a certain day, I didn't get it. So, you know, you just have to be aware that even if there are certain financial promotions, you have to act quickly to get them and make sure you do pick up a car by a certain date or you don't get those promotions. Would I buy this Tesla again? Would I make the same decision, right? I've got more than 10,000 miles, probably almost 15,000 miles now, almost a year of owning it, right? Over 9 months already. I've driven it through snow. I've driven it through ice. I've driven it through hot summer days. I've driven it across the entire country and back. So would I buy it again? My short answer is yes. It is pricey, it is expensive, but I feel like it is worth that price. And if you're someone that's really looking at and like you can't afford it, go for a year or two older, get used vehicles. Between the older 3 and the newer 3, there have been upgrades, but the older Model 3 or Model Y are both very good options as well. There's nothing wrong with the older ones. They drive great, they're fast, they're just as fun. Just come join the Tesla family. Be part of the Tesla family. Hi, I'm doing the editing right now. I'm working on my computer, watching The Simpsons, and getting a free charge, so can't complain about much. But thank you for watching. Thank you for making it this far in the video. Feel free to like and subscribe. It makes a big difference. And comment down below, what other videos would you like to see me make next?